Welcome back to our lesson, and before I proceed to Android Studio to show you how to get the contents of the text file to show on the Android text view inside the Android Studio screen, I would just like first to add this presentation to make you better understand everything. So of course our data would be coming from the text file, and we have our input stream. This input stream would be the one to connect to the text file and get everything from there byte by byte, while the buffered reader would get the data from the input stream and read it character by character. But it could read it, although it's reading the characters from the input stream one character at a time, we could use methods that would get it line per line. Okay, it's line per line, but it's actually doing it character by character. So that usually happens in the background, so you don't need to put too much emphasis on it. But just remember that the buffered reader is getting the data or the text or the character from the input stream, while the input stream gets everything from the text file because it's the one that's connected to the data source. And then the buffered reader will be communicating with the string buffer. The string buffer, since it's a string that can be modified, so we can always add data to the string buffer coming from the characters or line by line group of characters coming from the buffered reader, which it obtained from the input stream. So the string buffer would be the one to contain everything that we should be passing into the text view of the Android screen. However, before we may be using a string data object before in between buffered reader and string buffer for the buffered reader to transfer everything to the string buffer. And the string buffer, the contents of the string buffer would be passed into the text view. So just remember this model here, and we would be in a better position to understand everything that we shall be showing you, or I shall be showing you once we are inside our Android Studio IDE. Okay, so let's proceed to our Android Studio IDE, and let's remember we have first the text file, then number 2 the input stream, the buffered reader, and the string buffer before we go into the text view. Okay, let's proceed with going into our Android Studio. So I already have here a text file that we shall be using, and the first thing that you do is go into your Android Studio and create a raw folder inside your rest folder. So for you to do that, just right click and then new, and go to Android resource directory. Do not go to directory, but click on Android resource directory. If you click that, you have directory name and resource type. First, change the resource type into raw. Okay, and the directory name already changed it for you into the same value or the same set of characters, which is raw, and then you click OK. Of course, you can change this raw into something else, but you don't really need to do that, as long as, but the important thing is the resource type is raw. So just click OK, and you now have your raw folder inside the rest folder. So if you expand the rest folder, instead of just 5 folders in it, you have now 5. So, but if you click on raw, it does not expand because it has nothing in it yet to show. So go to your text file and right click copy, and then go back to your Android Studio and right click on raw and click paste, and just click OK. And of course, you now have your raw folder. You can expand on it now because it contains a text file, and the text file is here. This is the contents of the text file. Okay, so inside your, I already have my text view inside my layout, but if you go to design, it has nothing on it yet. So let's go to our main activity.java. And first thing, you create a TextView object. So TextView, and just name it TextView. Okay. After you create this object, you have done this before in previous videos. Maybe not TextView, we have done it for the button object. So we're going to do the same for the TextView. So our TextView object here, you type text and it autocompletes is here helping us. Just click on it and you now cast it into a text view just like you do it in the button, and then after the open close parenthesis you type find view by ID because we are linking to the ID of the text view, which is here TV view. Okay, so if you go back to your layout and your text editor, you can see that the name of the ID of the text view is TView. So it's the one that we are linking in here. So you have now connected your text view object into the ID of the text view inside your XML layout. Okay, so after doing that, so the first thing is step 1, to create a string buffer object. Okay, so string buffer. Okay, let's do first the one that is first needed, just like what is shown in our model here. Let's create first an input stream. Okay, so step 1 is to create input stream object. Okay, so input stream, so just name it input stream equals this, meaning this activity class, main activity class, this, and you use the get resources method here. So it's there for because of autocomplete, and the get resources method would use the open row resource because we are going into the row folder, and pass the name of the row resource, which is our sample text file. Okay, as you can see here. Okay, just put an open close parenthesis at the end, and then of course if we go back to our model, we need to pass everything to the buffered reader. So actually you can mix up the declaration of objects, but when we code this, the actual getting of the text file contents, we use this model in this sequence. Okay, so we create a buffered reader object. Okay, so buffered reader, so let's just use B reader or buffer, just let's use the same name so we know what it is. Okay, and then new buffered reader, and inside that new buffered reader we pass the input stream object, because in our model the buffered reader would get the characters from the input stream. Okay, so new buffered reader, okay, new input stream reader, and your input stream reader is this input stream object. Okay, so input stream, so that's it. Okay, now we should be creating our string buffer just to prepare it. So this is step number 2. Let's put a comment. This comment is really not necessary if you don't want to put it, but it just helps us practice the steps. So create a buffered reader object. That's our number 2 step. And then number 3, create input stream object. We create an input stream object so that it's just to prepare this. We are not going to use it immediately here. So let's just create, no, this is not an input stream object, sorry, create string buffer object. We have already created our input stream object here on step 1. Okay, so string buffer, so string buffer, so and then instantiate it immediately. So new string buffer. So just do not put anything inside, we don't need it to have any parameters. So after that, okay, let's just save. The key is for us to put everything that's inside this buffered reader into the string buffer, but we could only do that if we have a string variable first. So let's have a string variable here, str data, and just put an empty string there. Okay, so after that we use an if statement. So this is the reason why I introduced you to control flow statement. An if statement is a it's a statement, a control flow statement that allows us to execute something inside it if it passed the condition that is being evaluated. So let's evaluate a certain condition here. If the input stream is not equal to null, so this exclamation point here means not. So not equal to null, then we execute the code inside here. So but if it's equal to null, then we bypass the code inside here and proceed immediately after the if. So if input stream is not equal to null, let's create a while loop. While execute this while loop, while buffered reader, so buffered reader would now read the line, read each line coming from the input stream instead of character by character, because we use this method read line. If by reading the line and it's not yet null, meaning there is still a line to read, not equal to null, then we execute this code inside here. But you know, there's an error because Android Studio would like us to put this while into a try-catch block. A try-catch block is something that handles errors or exceptions. So let's put a try-catch block here. Catch. Let's handle every type of exception because this is really just for demo purposes. So e.print stack trace, it prints the error. So there's no more error red underline here because we have put the try catch block. So don't if you don't understand yet why we are putting this try catch block, it's okay. You just need to first understand this while loop. So this while loop here means that while the buffered reader is able to read lines, so we have 10 lines here, execute the code inside this. But if the buffered reader would see that there's no more line after line 10, then this while loop would exit. Okay, so that's the meaning of that. And for every line that the buffered reader reads, let's pass that to our string variable here. Actually, we can do this inside here, or I just need to put additional parentheses here and here. Okay, so this means that we are passing whatever line or line per line text is being read by our buffered reader into the string data, the string variable here. So we have this str data. So this means that buffered reader is passing line per line that it obtains from the input stream into this str data, which is a string variable. Okay, and then so we can put this inside the while, but we can immediately assign it here. And then after doing that, we need to pass the content of the string variable into our string buffer. Okay, so the string buffer, we have an object string buffer here. So string buffer dot append. We use append because it just adds up to what's already inside the string buffer. Okay, append str data. Okay, so if we run this, do you think it would already show the contents of the sample text file here into our Android screen using a TextView? Okay, make a guess. Make a guess now. Type on the comments if you have what guess have you made, so that we can have some fun here. After, of course, you would know what is the correct answer after this video. But for now, type what you have guessed, so that we can see if everyone guessed it correctly. So if your guess is the text would already show here, then type yes. If no, if you think no, just type no. So let's run this code. Okay, nothing showed. So those who have guessed no, you are correct. But those that have said yes, don't worry. The first time I did this code, I thought it's yes, and my guess is yes. But no, it would not show yet because we have not yet put the contents of the string buffer into the text view. So you have to add this line of code here. TextView.setText, whatever the content of your string buffer. So this would now allow us to see the contents of the text file. So let's run the code. Okay, here it is. We have line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, up to line 10. So we are successful. Okay, but maybe we need some refinement of this because this really do not look good. So let's put something here, like maybe something that would allow us to put the next line into the next line of the text view screen. So maybe /n. /n is forcing everything into the next line. Okay, let's see what would happen. Okay, that's it. So we have successfully shown the contents of the text file into our text view, just like how it is done inside the text file. Okay, so I hope you gained a lot from this video. Actually, you have covered everything here. And if you have not yet fully understood this tutorial, I would like you to just look at this model. Okay, I would be allowing you to download this presentation so that you could always look at it. And of course, you can just watch this video and pause it so that you can see this model. It would allow you to be able to fully understand how this code worked, how we made it work. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope you are really excited. We are going to day 4 of our course, and day 4 is where we would be planning our application. We would be doing a really simple application, but would allow you to be able to create simple apps that would allow you to earn in the Android Play Store. So see you there.